Arman Tsarukyan takes shots at Ilia Topuria ahead of his fight against Dan Hooker at UFC Qatar. Arman once again showed his dislike for Topuria and ruled out his hype by claiming that the Spanish fighter just got an easy path to the title. Arman Tsarukyan believes Ilia Topuria hasn't faced anyone who really challenged him yet. He noted that Topuria's wins over Volkanovski and Holloway came under circumstances that didn't fully test it. Arman added that if Topuria can get past him in Islam Makhachev, then he could be considered one of the greatest fighters ever.
Считают, что Илья еще не дрался с людьми, которые действительно проверят его на прочность. То есть, многие считают, что сбитые летчики очень возрастные ребята, и что ему нужно подраться как раз-таки либо с тобой, либо с Исламом, чтобы вот понять, от чего он действительно стоит. Ты как считаешь?
Да, я считаю, что он не дрался ни с кем, кто на ходу сейчас. Ему нужно подраться именно со мной, с Исламом, кто умеет бороться, кто на ходу и кто на своем пике. Он там подрался с Волконовским, который уже был в нокаутах, нокдаунах, столько всего пережил. Холлоуэй тоже, условно говоря, тоже уже просто дерется за счет денег. Я думаю, что вот если он там пройдет меня и Ислама, тогда он будет реально один из самых лучших бойцов.
Paddy Pimblett also believes Ilia Topuria had an easier path to a title fight compared to him. He feels Topuria faced less challenging opponents and benefited from favorable timing. Pimblett added that if he had a similar road, he thinks he would already hold the championship.
I think Ilia had the easiest road to the belt. He had to beat Josh Emmett to get a title shot. He beat Ryan Hall, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell. That was one of the easiest routes I've ever seen to a title shot. Michael Chandler had beat all of the people he fought before he fought Volk. And he wouldn't have beat Volk if Volk wasn't knocked out like 8 weeks earlier, 12 weeks earlier. You know what I mean? Everything's happened at the right time for Topuria, apart from when he fights me. If I didn't have to have these little times off these intervals and I had an easy route to the belt like he did, I would have been champion by now.
Meanwhile, Merab Dvalishvili commented on Arman Tsarukyan's upcoming fight against Dan Hooker in November. He said it's a great matchup, noting that Arman's grappling is a major strength. At the same time, Hooker is very experienced and dangerous, having stopped other strong grapplers before. Merab described the fight as an interesting and exciting contest.
Alex Shervani in Armenian Sports News. Dana White just announced that your friend Arman Tsarukyan will be fighting Dan Hooker in November.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a good fight for him?
Yes, absolutely. This is a good fight, Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker, and I guess from this fight winner will be #1 contender. It's a good for sport. I will say like Arman Tsarukyan has more chance because of his grappler, but Dan Hooker is very experienced, very dangerous opponent too. Because he was able to stop another grappler like Mateusz Gamratis, and we'll see. It's an interesting fight.
Thank you, bro.
Mateusz Gamrot also talked about the fight between Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker and predicted his winner for this clash. He noted that if he wins his upcoming bout, he would and could face the winner of Arman versus Hooker. Gamrot believes Arman has the better chance to win, highlighting his well-rounded skills, strong wrestling, solid jiu-jitsu, effective striking, and good movement, which he thinks would give Arman the edge.
I see Hooker has fight with Arman, and if I pass Charles, I can fight with the winner of Arman versus Hooker.
Who do you think wins that fight?
I think Arman has more chance to win this fight because he's more all-rounder fighter, Good wrestler, strong, good jiu-jitsu, good striking movement. So I think 60-40 for Arman, he can beat Hooker.
Michael Bisping praised Arman Tsarukyan as a complete and highly skilled mixed martial artist. He noted that at 28 years old, Arman is in his prime with a professional record of 22 wins and 3 losses. Bisping highlighted that one loss was to Mateusz Gamrot, whom Dan Hooker defeated, and another came in his UFC debut against Islam Makhachev, where Arman stepped in on short notice and still gave Islam a tough challenge.
Arman Tsarukyan, we know what he can do. The man can do it all. Literally, he's a very, very well-rounded mixed martial artist, and he is in his absolute prime. He's only 28 years old with a professional record of 22 wins and 3 losses. Those 3 losses, one of them was to Mateusz Gamrot that Dan Hooker did beat, and of course he lost his UFC debut to Islam Makhachev that he took on short notice, and he still gave Islam a really good run for his money.
Michael Bisping called the upcoming fight a pivotal one. He said that if Dan Hooker wins, a new contender could emerge, but if Arman Tsarukyan wins, he would likely be next in line for a title shot. Bisping noted Arman has only 3 losses, 2 in the UFC, including 1 to Mateusz Gamrot, and is currently on a 4-fight win streak. He added that beating Dan Hooker won't be easy, describing Hooker as a hardened and unpredictable fighter.
This is going to be a really key fight. If Dan Hooker wins this one, we could have a new contender. If Arman Tsarukyan wins this, then of course the man is going to fight for the belt next. He's only got 3 losses on his record. 2 of them are in the UFC. One was to Mateusz Gamrot, but since then the man is on a 4-fight win streak, and he kind of is the next guy in line. But of course he's going to get through Dan Hooker, and that ain't going to be easy. This version of Dan Hooker, the version of Dan Hooker that is covered in tattoos from neck to toe, the version of Dan Hooker that's going through a midlife crisis and holding bloody scraps in his backyard.
Michael Bisping described Dan Hooker as a tough and relentless fighter. He said the fight would answer many questions in the lightweight division, particularly about who would face Ilia Topuria next. Bisping noted that Arman Tsarukyan has been actively calling out Islam, while Ilia has avoided the fight, even suggesting he would vacate the title rather than accept it immediately. Bisping added that this isn't necessarily avoidance, but Topuria enjoys the mental game. He also emphasized that if Arman beats Dan Hooker, Islam will have no choice but to take the fight.
Dan Hooker is a real dog in this one, but more importantly, this answers a lot of questions in the lightweight division. We were all sitting around wondering, when is Ilia Topuria going to fight, and who is it going to be? And of course there were 3 front runners. We know Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett and Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan's been out there, he's been calling him a duck, he's been doing the whole thing, he's been going after him, he's been talking shit. Ilia Topuria's refused to fight him, said that if they gave him a title fight, he would vacate the belt.
I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt.
I don't think that's because he's ducking him. I think it's because Ilia Topuria just enjoys winding the guy up and making him wait. But if he beats Dan Hooker, he's got to accept the fight. Simple as that.
MMA Guru predicts Arman Tsarukyan will defeat Dan Hooker. He explained that while Mateusz Gamrot came close in his fight with Hooker, Arman will likely be more comfortable on the feet and better equipped to handle Hooker's style. He noted that Gamrot even dropped Hooker during their fight, showing that Arman could have an advantage. The analyst added that if Arman wins, he should unquestionably earn the next title shot, whereas it's uncertain what would happen if Hooker wins.
Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. I've got Arman winning. I do. I see this as a bit of, listen, I thought Gamrot could have won that Dan Hooker fight, and I know it was close and there's damage, and Hooker had some good moments towards the ends of the rounds, and that's what the judges are going to remember, so it's one of them. It's one of them. But I think Arman Tsarukyan is just going to be more comfortable on the feet with Dan Hooker than Mateusz Gamrot was, and Mateusz Gamrot did drop Dan Hooker on the feet as well, so I reckon Arman Tsarukyan's got this one in the bag, and I think if he wins this one, there's no doubt at all you got to give him the title shot next, no matter what happens to anyone else in the division. If they don't have a title fight booked with Ilia Topuria before this happens, then they need to give Arman Tsarukyan a title shot if he wins. If Dan Hooker wins, who knows if they're going to give him the title shot.
MMA Guru favors Arman Tsarukyan in his fight against Dan Hooker. He highlighted Arman's wrestling and ability to score from various positions, and he noted that while Hooker's takedown defense has improved, he's returning from multiple arm injuries, which could be a concern. He mentioned that the 5-round fight could bring interesting dynamics, including Hooker's cardio and signature knee strikes, but overall, he leans toward Arman while cautioning that Hooker should never be counted out.
But Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker, I got Arman. I think his wrestling is good. I also think even though maybe his pure wrestling skill isn't as good as Mateusz Gamrot, I think his ability to score points from those positions is a lot better. And I do think he'll be able to take down Dan Hooker if he wants to. Now, I do think that Dan Hooker's takedown defense has gotten better, but you've got to consider the guy's coming off another broken arm. 2 failed surgeries on it. We've been waiting for him to come back for a long time. Now we're finally getting him back in November the 22nd. I'm worried he's going to break his arm again going through this fight camp. He's had a lot of injuries recently, so I am leaning towards Arman for so many reasons. It's a 5-rounder. That is interesting. Dan Hooker's got great cardio. We could see some interesting things. Arman Tsarukyan is the type of build that's ripe for that knee up the middle from Dan Hooker that he loves so much. So we'll see what he can do here. It's never good to count out Dan Hooker.
MMA Guru also called out Justin Gaethje, questioning why he hasn't booked a fight with Paddy Pimblett for the December pay-per-view. He noted that Gaethje had mentioned retiring if he doesn't get a title shot next, and added that it looks unlikely a title fight will come his way. The analyst suggested that a Pimblett versus Gaethje matchup in December would be an exciting fight for fans.
Justin Gaethje, I'm looking at you, buddy. What are we doing? Gaethje, if you haven't got a fight with Paddy Pimblett booked for the December pay-per-view card, what are you actually doing? Like, I don't know what Gaethje's up to, but if he says if he doesn't get a title shot next, he's going to retire, I said this a couple of weeks ago, it's looking like Gaethje's going to retire then, because there ain't no title shot coming your way, buddy. Just hate to break it to you, man. So maybe we're going to get a Pimblett versus Gaethje in December. That would be amazing.
Ali Abdelaziz believes Justin Gaethje will honor his word and retire if Paddy Pimblett receives a title shot before him. He explained that Gaethje has always stood by his promises and wouldn't compete again under those circumstances. While acknowledging the UFC is a business and Paddy's popularity, Abdelaziz questioned why Paddy deserves a title shot over Gaethje, adding that if merit and rankings mattered, Arman Tsarukyan should be next in line.
Justin Gaethje never break his word. If he get jumped by Paddy, he will retire. And he will never fight again in the UFC. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But, you know, UFC is a business. Listen, Paddy Pimblett, I got nothing against the young man. He's great, he's entertaining. His last 3 opponents is 0-13. You know what I'm saying? How he be ahead in the ranking, Justin Gaethje ahead of him. Justin Gaethje give the UFC favorite after favorite after favorite. What Paddy Pimblett have done to the UFC to deserve a shot over Justin Gaethje? If it's pure entertainment, okay, give it to him. But if it's pure merit, it's Justin Gaethje.
Did they try to make the Paddy Pimblett fight? Did they propose it to you guys?
I don't think anybody got proposed to do anything. Listen, the only guy, if you get a title shot over Justin Gaethje, is Arman.
Ali Abdelaziz also predicts Arman Tsarukyan will easily defeat Dan Hooker, insisting the fight won't be competitive. He clarified that his comments aren't personal, but emphasized that Arman's skill and fight IQ are far superior. Abdelaziz stated that in terms of technique and overall ability, Tsarukyan is on an entirely different level.
Hey, by the way, Dan Hooker fighting Arman, that's pretty cool, right? At least someone's fighting Arman. No one wanted to fight him. They're fighting in November.
I think Arman gotta beat the shit out of him. Bad. I do. I think.
Hey, come on, Islam. I think Islam's become a Dan Hooker fan. I saw on Twitter. I think he's.
I'm telling you.
No?
I'm telling you. I think Arman is gonna beat the shit out of Dan Hooker. My opinion. I don't have nothing against the guy, but I just think it's a level to this game, and I think Arman is on a completely different level than Hooker.
Ali Abdelaziz stated that he doesn't respect Dan Hooker, accusing him of lying about Islam Makhachev and spreading false claims about the situation in Australia. He said, Hooker talks to stay relevant but isn't truthful. However, Abdelaziz acknowledged that he respects Hooker for accepting the fight with Arman Tsarukyan, as few fighters would take it. He added that Hooker has little to lose but predicted Tsarukyan will dominate the matchup.
Do you respect him? At least he's taking the Arman fight, right? No one wanted to fight.
I don't respect Dan Hooker because he lied. He lied about Islam and IV shit. And I don't think he should have did that. But I don't have nothing against him, But I respect him as a man, no, because he lied. This whole Australia bullshit, that was a lie. But in a way, I don't. Also, when he fought Islam smashed him, and I get it. He have to ride with his team and stuff, but he's a liar. But personally, I have anything against? No. But I respect this. It's something you have to be I respect, like Izzy, Israel Adesanya, I respect him. Volk, I respect him. Some certain guys I just respect. But when you start lying about people to stay relevant, keep your name in, I don't think it's really cool. But listen, I respect him. He's taking a fight against Arman. He have nothing to lose, really, But I think Arman is just gonna torture him.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping said Ilia Topuria will eventually have to fight, warning that avoiding a bout could lead to being struck off his title. He praised Topuria as the undefeated and possibly one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, highlighting his elite grappling, his wrestling, and confident mindset. He added that it's still unclear whether his next opponent will be Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, or Paddy Pimblett.
Ilia Topuria has to fight at some time, okay? He's the reigning champion, and if he doesn't fight, then he will get stripped. Of course, he vacated the featherweight belt. He's undefeated. He's probably the pound-for-pound greatest fighter in all of the sport right now. Come at me in the comment section if you want to, but that's just my personal opinion. The man's ridiculous. The knockout over Charles Oliveira, the grappling credentials that he has, the wrestling that he has, and of course the mindset, the confidence, the fact that he, what's the word that the kids use? Hold on, what did he do? He manifested all of this, okay? He does seem to do that, okay? Just like Conor McGregor, he calls his shots, he backs it up, he talks the talk, and he walks the goddamn walk. But he's got to fight someone. It ain't going to be Arman. Is it going to be Justin Gaethje? Or is it going to be Paddy Pimblett? Will Paddy Pimblett be fast-tracked after beating Michael Chandler, a man that has struggled to get wins in the UFC? Will he get fast-tracked to fight Ilia Topuria?
Dan Hooker explained why he wanted to face Arman Tsarukyan. With other top fighters focused on the title, Arman needed a fight to stay in contention. Hooker said his interest wasn't personal, but because he sees Arman as the toughest challenge. He added that many top fighters find reasons to avoid Arman, and since his UFC debut, Hooker's goal has been to fight the best, and he believes Arman is that fighter.
I think they're going to do Holloway Oliveira, Gaethje for the title. That leaves Arman in the lurch. He's got to fight me to get back in the mix and to get a title shot. That's always the fight I want, and not because he's a prick and I hate him, but because I genuinely think that he's the hardest fight, and all those big name guys have like an excuse to not fight him. Yeah, I think he's the best at winning fights, and so a lot of these guys have a justifiable reason to avoid fighting him. And so that's been my approach since I first stepped foot in the UFC, is that I want to fight the best guys. I think Arman's the best guy.
Dan Hooker revealed what sets him apart from Arman Tsarukyan. He explained that he fights for the love of competing and putting on exciting fights for the fans, not just to win. Hooker said Arman approaches fighting differently, focusing on winning and playing the strategic game, while Hooker's style is driven by passion and a desire to truly compete. He added that Arman will soon realize they fight for very different reasons.
You're one of the toughest fights in the division. You've been in there with the best of the best. Do you think he knows what he's got himself in for?
I play the game the way I like to play the game. You know, I like to have wild fights and do exciting stuff for the fans, and just a fighter's fighter. You know, I like to fight more than I like to win, and that's just something that he can't understand. He's a competitor. He couldn't be me if he wanted to. You know, he's very good at winning fights and playing the game and being a martial artist. But we don't fight for the same reasons. You know, he fights so people give him attention, and I fight because it's in my blood. I fight because I love to fight. We fight for very different reasons, and he's gonna find that out.
Dan Hooker criticized Arman Tsarukyan, calling him a spoiled fighter who's had everything handed to him. He accused Arman of constantly undermining him and claiming he avoids fights. Hooker emphasized that unlike Arman, he built his career from the ground up through hard work and determination, insisting that money won't give Arman an advantage inside the cage.
He's just been chiming at me since he first got in the UFC, and I'm just not one. I'll chime back, you know, like he just makes it like he discredits me as a fighter. He says that I turn him down and running away from him and stuff like this. So he's been carrying on for all these years, and yeah, now like, I've obviously chimed back, and I'm not one to mince my words when I'm talking back to someone. Yeah, I just kind of think he's a spoiled little rich kid that's had everything handed to him, and yeah, I think I'm like the epitome of, I'm just the complete opposite of that. Like, I've taken everything that I have, I've worked hard, I come out of nothing, so I just love to just rob it in his face, really. Well, money can't help you beat Dan Hooker. That's what I want to. Money can't help you beat Dan Hooker.
Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan acknowledged that fighting Dan Hooker is a bigger challenge than facing Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje. He explained that Dan Hooker's striking, with long range and precise kicks, makes it harder for wrestlers to get inside without taking damage.
Для меня, если честно, все бои сложные, потому что столько тренировок, тренировочный лагерь, весогонка. Потом тебе драться надо. Он высокий, конечности длинные, довольно хорошо стал защищаться от партера, встает хорошо, набрал неплохо. То есть Но то, что он не умеет бороться, вот это самое. Именно в вольной борьбе он защищается не так хорошо. Вот этим и нужно брать. Но если бы я выбирал, я бы, конечно, выбрал бы Пимлета или Гейджа. С ними поудобнее, чем с Хукером. Так как Хукер очень высокий, с такими чуть тяжело драться. Тяжелее подойти, они на дистанции отстреливаются. Такие мерзкие удары ногами у него. Сдалека бьет типы хорошо. Для борцов чуть неудобные удары.
Dan Hooker revealed that his fight with Arman Tsarukyan excites him more than a potential matchup with Justin Gaethje. He said he wanted the Tsarukyan fight even before Gaethje was scheduled, as being seen as the underdog motivates him. Hooker explained that he thrives on that energy and that this is the kind of fight that drives him every day.
Is this the fight you wanted?
This is the fight that I wanted. This is the fight that I wanted before the Gaethje fight got matched. This is the fight that I wanted, because I feel like it's a guy that everyone thinks is going to beat me. That's what I want. That's what I want the fight. That's why I want the fight. You know, obviously everyone wants the Gaethje fight and these fun fights. To me, I want the toughest test. I want the guy that everyone thinks I'm going to lose to. I want the guy that the odds are stacked against. And I feel like this is one of those fights. A big underdog. I can't wait to see the betting on it. I love it when the boys make a bunch of money off me. I love coming into a fights as a heavy underdog. That's my favorite. That's where I thrive. That's where I do my best work. I'm excited. This fight gets me out of bed. Gaethje didn't even really get me out of bed. I didn't even get out of bed for that fight. This fight is exciting to me, and that's hard for people to understand, but
Arman Tsarukyan responded to Dan Hooker, saying that all the trash talk won't matter once they step into the cage. He claimed Hooker is just seeking attention and vowed to control the fight from start to finish. Tsarukyan added that he and his team are ready for every situation and intend to secure a decisive victory.
Sure.
Maybe he's gonna talk a lot, but a lot of brothers coming, and hopefully he's gonna they gonna stop me, you know.
Oh my.
And yeah, I shouldn't do some crazy things. I just gotta be focused, because I'm gonna have 25 minutes to beat his ass.
When you say brothers, you mean your team, right?
Yeah, this time a lot of people comes to Qatar. They don't need a visa, so this time we're gonna have a bunch of people from Russia, from Armenia, so I'm gonna have a big team.
Dan Hooker dismissed Arman Tsarukyan's comments about bringing a large team to Qatar, saying it doesn't intimidate him. He explained that he has faced tougher challenges before and never needed anyone else to fight his battles. Hooker emphasized that he deals with problems directly and doesn't rely on others to handle them.
I've had my ass beat more times than you've had hot dinners, brother. You think that scares me in any way, shape, or form? You're off your head.
You got some pretty tough brothers on your side as well, just for the record.
I got some pretty tough brothers, but I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy, brother. I'm not that guy. I've heard him as well. I'm not that guy. I don't go get no one in my life. You beat me up, I'm not gonna go get anyone else to come and sort it out. I'm not gonna hide behind anyone. I don't need brothers. I have brothers, but I'm not that guy. I don't go and get people. If I got a problem with someone, I'll come around your house and sort it out myself. I'm not. I don't send anyone to go and do my dirty work, brother.
Dan Hooker expressed a strong dislike for Arman Tsarukyan after their fight was confirmed, and he showed no respect for Tsarukyan and admitted he's excited to strike, especially looking forward to landing an elbow, highlighting just how motivated and fired up he is for the matchup.
I don't like his face. I don't like that his face is attached to his body, and I would love to separate the two. I don't like the bloke. I don't know anything about him, but I hate everything he stands for. Can't wait to elbow him in the nose.
That's a wrap for today's video. What are your thoughts on this matchup? Share your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our other videos on the screen right now.